Dembélé scored a hat-trick in 26 minutes. Senegal scored 5 goals for the first time in Africa World Cup history. And Cape Verde, a nation of 500,000 people, they just reached the World Cup knockouts. Day 16 was something else. Welcome back to Foot in Review World Cup Daily episode 26 with day 16 of this World Cup done. My name is John and I'm your host today. And today I'm joined by, well, nobody actually. Because of this insane schedule we keep going, it's just not possible to get everyone together every single day. But that's right, I'm going to keep you updated from what happened yesterday and maybe even look forward to what's happening tonight. The group stage is now almost complete. We've got 6 matches left. And yesterday, Dembélé scored the second fastest hat-trick in World Cup history. Senegal scored 5 goals, which is an Africa record. And Iran had a winner in the 93rd minute. And then the VAR took it away. Also, Belgium finally clicked. 6 games, all of it right here. Let's go. Let's start today. I will make us a drink. I will take a drink in between, of course, when I'm talking alone. But let's talk with the big match. One of 3 big matches that was in the group stage. One was, of course, Netherlands-Japan for me. The second big match was England versus Croatia. And the third match, the one I'm looking forward to the most, was France versus Norway. Mbappe versus Haaland. Unfortunately, the Norwegian squad decided to not start their starting 11. They started with 10 substitution from or with 10 backup players. France said, let's just start with the original team and let's hit the gas for 30 minutes. And basically, it was game over. Mbappe hit the bar already on 22 seconds in. And then Dembélé took over. The reigning Ballon d'Or winner scored in the 7th minute, in the 20th minute, and the 32nd minute to complete the second fastest hat-trick in history. Just for props, if you know who was the fastest, let us know. It's an Austrian player from 1954, but put his name in the comment. Ødegaard pulled one back from Norway right after the second goal, which seemed like, if you're following FIFA, like a kickoff glitch with a tremendous goal, but that's definitely made France look a little bit unfocused. In the second half, of course, third quarter, depends how you look, headed in the fourth. I think headed the fourth goal in was by Doué. And the stoppage time, Ødegaard, Haaland, not seen a match. That makes sure the group stage now ends, Group I, with France on 9 points from 9 and 10 goals in 3 games. Sure, Norway is still second and will go further in the thing as well, which is pretty cool. But I'm in 2 minds of this substitutions as backup team progress. We've seen it a lot happen with very confident teams that think they make it a long way. But Norway has not been in a World Championship or World Cup for a long, long time. So when I saw they were playing a backup squad, I thought they are very, very confident in their chances to proceed, because they will start next week with a fresh team, of course. But the disadvantage of doing this, when you actually give away the game and you lose the game like this, it could be that you do sort of get like a little bit of a dent. Your reputation gets done. You get a lot of press coming at you. It might not always work out. And I'm saying this as a Dutch who tried this before, the way you expected. Well, we'll see next week when Norway plays in the round of 32 if they were correct or not. But I can only imagine, you buy tickets for the biggest match of this first round, Haaland versus Mbappe. You pay a lot of money to be in the stadium. And then you only see Mbappe do a little bit of a warm-up. Kudos to Dembélé, of course. And Dembélé is also our baller of the day. Normally I keep it a secret. But hey, I'm doing this alone today, so there's no reason to keep secrets here. But yeah, it's a terrific match. France showed their strength. And honestly, after this match, I have no idea how strong Norway actually is. But maybe they surprise them, and I think they are very confident, else they wouldn't have started the reserve squad in this as well. Also, a little bit of a note, Deschamps was still absent. Unfortunately, he talked about it this week, his mother passed away. Stefan took charge, and Stefan has been with Deschamps for a long, long time, and he looked very confident taking up that role. Game 2, though, in Toronto was Senegal versus Iraq. And, well, Senegal recorded not only the biggest World Cup victory by an African nation, but also became the first African team to score 5 goals in a single World Cup match. Diarra got the opening touch in the 4th minute, and unfortunately Iraq were reduced to 10 men in the 13th minute when Saluka went off for denying Sadio Mané a goal-scoring opportunity. To be fair, I think it's a deserved red card, but after that much seems done. And if Senegal got a high-scoring score in, they would have been golden for the next round. And that's exactly what they did with a 5 victory. I think that sort of settles it. I think Senegal, a pretty cool team. I think Iraq did what they could, but holding, down to 10 men with 77 minutes to play, that's not going to be easy, right? But they went 1-0 up in the break, so I was like, it could still happen. But yeah, everything came together in the second half. Saw with another great match, honestly. And yeah, I think the goal they scored clocked in at 130 kilometers an hour, which of course shows a little bit how fast this ball can go when hit properly. Senegal is actually through, so that is awesome to see that as well. And I think the red card was very much deserved. Not much to take away from this match either. To be fair, and that's something I'm lately wondering about, I didn't mind. When they started with 48 teams, I said this could be really boring. Honestly, the first 2 rounds were tremendous. The problem, though, with 48 teams now definitely is showing. It does mean that there are some weaker teams in there. And those third matches, usually very exciting. But the fact you have Norway after such a long absence putting in a reserve squad, and most matches not really mattering anymore. And what I really don't like about this is those, for example, if you're Scotland, you've been waiting now for 2 months or now, not really, but like a couple of days already, just waiting to know if you have been performing good enough to progress. I think that really takes away from this. I'd rather, and this is a tough saying, but I'd rather have 64 teams, just the first 2 teams go through, than this waiting game we got currently going on. The matches aren't all that important. We've got backup squads, and some of the teams are already, are just having to wait now. And I don't think that's how it should be. We also had, of course, Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde did not need to score. They needed a point. And Vozinha, the 40-year-old goalkeeper who became the face of this World Cup with millions and millions of followers on Instagram by now, he made sure they got 3 crucial saves. A Cano header in the first half stoppage time, Shamat's shot in the 66th minute, and an Alhamda effort in the 92nd minute. And when Spain's results confirmed Cape Verde was in 2nd place in Group H, the celebrations began. The smallest nation ever to reach the World Cup knockout round had actually done this. To be fair, before this tournament kicked off, I think nobody had like Cape Verde in the round of 32. They were the debutants, the 500,000 person island nation in the coast of West Africa. They had Spain on 0-0 in game 1. They drew 2-2 versus Uruguay in game 2, coming from behind twice. And yesterday against Saudi Arabia, when all they needed was a draw, Vozinha actually stood again between them in elimination. As he had all tournaments, 3 saves, and the third draw in a row. 3 draws. But it is good enough to face Argentina in Miami next week on July 3rd. Let's see if we can get another draw in and maybe win on penalties. That would be cool, but of course not for the Argentine fans. But they did what they came into. Curacao tried. They weren't good enough. Cape Verde did. And there's a certain country or certain town in the Netherlands that's really happy with this victory, of course. Then, right, we are going in. Well, I think Vozinha is the best story of the tournament so far. Goalkeepers have been cool as well. But yeah, 40 years old and still performing. It's almost like a 40-year-old podcaster doing a solo podcast. So now we're halfway through the 6 enormous games and I need a moment. This is your food in review hydration break. So grab a drink. We still have Spain, Iran and Belgium to get through. And maybe the most dramatic VAR moment of the tournament. We'll be right back after this. So while you are up, the group stage is almost done and we have been here every single day. And if this show has been a part of your World Cup journey, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/food-and-review or go at patreon.com/food-and-review. Of course, we send out our newsletter every single Friday, and you can join that at food-and-review.com. Follow us on Instagram at food-and-review and on TikTok at food-and-review podcast. All the links are, of course, in the show notes. And so far, if there's anything you want to do to help us, drop us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, because those do mean the world for us. Plus, I love reading the comments you place. Now, let's get into game 4. In Guadalajara, we have Spain versus Uruguay. What can we say about this match? It ended 1-0 for Spain. And I said it before, I absolutely love Uruguay. It is a tremendous team usually. They won 2 World Cups, including the first World Cup. They have the best, or maybe one of the best, but I think the best kit of the whole tournament. The light blue is just so pretty. But unfortunately, they also have Fernando Muslera. And we talked about good goalkeeping performances this World Cup. But Muslera had a fault in match 1. He had a fault in match 2. And yesterday, they lost the match because of his last performance for Uruguay. Because he absolutely missed that ball. He got 2 hands to it, but he could not stop it going in. Weirdly enough, Bielsa replaced Muslera with Rocher at halftime. And that was, of course, the end of his career as an international. It's a sad way to see it go. Afterwards, they asked Bielsa, why did you sub him off? And he actually said he asked to be subbed off. Of course, with Bielsa, never quite know, but I can't wait to figure out what happened here. To be fair, Spain did not play their best game. Total XG was 0.86 from 6 shots. But yeah, Muslera costed them the goal. I think Uruguay fought hard. They tried hard. But unfortunately, I think sometimes it's just not your tournament. Bielsa said after the game, that's cool to see, by the way, or to know. Bielsa said after the game, he had nothing left to the national team during his time as the coach. So does that mean he's gone? Does that mean we don't know yet? But I think he was angry, as we could know him from before. He was screaming into camera on an interview. But yeah, it's just sad that the Uruguay story is now Muslera's story, becoming the first goalkeeper on record since 1966 to make 3 errors, leading to 3 goals in a single World Cup tournament. And this is confirmed by Opta. So yeah, it's a sad story. Spain go through. Obviously, they go through. But Uruguay is out. Brings us to game 5 in Group G on Lumen Field in Seattle. And this one, we expected some fireworks, but somehow the FIFA made sure that they kept it really quiet. So I did not see anything. Of course, if this is the 5th match you're watching at night, you might not be as sharp as you are watching the first match, but I didn't see anything weird with protest of with the Pride Matters. I think it was just a very cool match to look. It ended up in a 1-1 draw. Egypt went ahead inside 5 minutes to Mahmoud Saber. Iran leveled in the 14th minute through Razaya from a tight angle and a frantic start. And then the game became scrappy until the most dramatic ending of the tournament so far. Taremi hit the crossbar with a header in the 89th minute. And then in the 93rd minute, Khalizada fired into the roof of the net. And the Iron bench steamed into the pitch into wild celebration. The crowd went nuts, but the VAR reviewed it. Khalizada was offside by mere centimeters. Rightfully so, but very dramatic. So they drew 1-1, and Iran is facing a nervous wait now with 3 points, and it doesn't look all that good. Egypt needed the draw to advance, so well, there's definitely there. But yeah, it's it is what it is. What more can we say? Football can be generally cruel, but I also like to see Egypt progress, to be fair. Then also there was penalty save, so yeah, it was truly a dramatic match. And I did not even mention Mohamed Salah being subbed out with a potentially hamstring concern, although nobody confirmed that yet. But yeah, that would be sad as well, though. what can we say? I think the VAR call was correct. So there's that. Then into the last match of the day, game 6 in Group G in Vancouver. It was Belgium versus New Zealand. The All Whites, I said at the start of this tournament, I can't see them perform at all. But quite honestly, their tournament started really well. And Belgium had been dire for 2 games. But yesterday, they were back into their old form. Trossard opened on 28 and added a second goal on the 50th minute. De Bruyne drilled a stunning effort from outside the box into the corner on minute 66 to make it 3-0. And Elijah just got a consolation for New Zealand on 84th minute, who actually is one of their standout players this tournament. Lukaku came off the bench and immediately headed home on 86. And that was his 6th World Cup goal, making him Belgium's all-time top scorer in a World Cup. Salamakers wrapped it up in stoppage time. Belgium topping Group G and are finally the team everyone expected. 1 goal in 5 World Cups going into this, just 1. And yeah, that I think there was could be a 1 goal as well. They drawn with Egypt, drawn with Iran despite having 23 shots. And Garcia was under a lot of pressure. De Bruyne didn't perform that well. But this match, they all turned up and they did what I said last match when I was very critical at the game plan, where I said they just want to hoof the ball into Lukaku and then try to build from there. There is no backup plan. This time, Lukaku didn't start, and it definitely changed the team. Salamakers got lots of, he got lots more space. De Bruyne could be more creative. I think this is definitely a goal. And also, Trossard had, of course, a tremendous game, but it helps. This is the number 9 dilemma we spoke about earlier. If you have a number 9 like Lukaku, you need to give him the ball. And if he then doesn't perform or you can't get it in, your team's pretty much stuck. We've seen that with the Netherlands as well. And when they change it around and it just clicks, that means I think Lukaku is now the steadily sub for this team. And to be fair, also, I don't think his form, his fitness was on par as well either. So he has, of course, not played all too much. Interesting fact from this match is that Courtois made his 18th World Cup appearance for Belgium. That's the most by any Belgian player in history. And the group ends up with Belgium on 5 points on number 1, Egypt on 5 points in second. And on goal difference, Iran on 3 points. They have to wait it out. New Zealand is out with 1 point. If I'm quite honest, I don't think this Belgium team could go really far. But hey, you never know. They did show up yesterday. Our steady topics are, of course, the baller of the day, the drama of the day, and the bottler of the day. The baller of the day has to be, like I said before, Ousmane Dembélé. Well, 3 shots, 3 goals. I think this just showed. He is a reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Yesterday, he also had a whole lot of space. I don't get why Norway started with a reserve squad and played 4 at the back against this team. That's a lot of pressure if you're a substitute player coming in. But yeah, the 3rd goal, different foot, left footed, right footed, it doesn't matter. Just a tremendous player. And this shows how strong this France team is. If Mbappe ain't doing it, if Olise ain't doing it, if then Dembele is doing it, and also bring in one of their other players. It's insane. Although Mbappe could have scored in the 22 seconds in as well. But yeah, the bottler of the day, unfortunately, has to be Fernando Muslera from Uruguay. There's not much to add to. I don't want to put salt into his wounds, but 39 years old. He might have had one of the best goalkeeper careers in South American football. He actually came out of international retirement to play this World Cup for Uruguay. This should be the fairy tale send-off, but if instead it became a nightmare, being subbed out in your last game and conceding 3 goals from 3 of your own mistakes. It's not a record you want to bring into your last game. So yeah, it's very unfortunately. But yeah, Uruguay's World Cup is now effectively over. I'm curious to see the story in the end. And of course, that brings us to the drama. I think the biggest drama from yesterday was, of course, the match Egypt-Iran or Iran-Egypt, where Iran scored in the 93rd minute, but VAR takes it away. Although it was rightful, it was a right call. They needed that win. If it was 1-1, 89 minutes have been played. Then they missed the penalty, hit the crossbar with a header. And the 93 minutes, the ball fell loose in the Egyptian box. And Khalizadeh he was there. He fired in the roof of the net. Tears were going off the bench. Everyone went nuts. And then it's sad. It's drama. It is, I think, rightful drama. Nothing really going wrong there. I think this is all like as it's supposed to be. But yeah, it's if you hit the woodwork twice, the goal is allowed in the last 5 minutes of the game. It's now a long way to see if you have to go in. But it is what it is. We are waiting now for the last 6 matches. Will be tonight. Of course, the first one will be Croatia versus Ghana, and the second one will be Panama versus England. If you look at that group, England is now on 4 points, Ghana is on 4 points, Croatia is on 3 points, and Panama is on 0 points. So basically, if you look at the match, I think Croatia-Ghana is one of fire, where Croatia and Ghana just basically, Ghana needs a draw and Croatia needs a win to go through. So we'll see 2 teams going for it. Later on, for us in the middle of the night at 1:30, which is a weird time, think we have had a half-hour kickoff yet. But we have Colombia versus Portugal and we have Congo versus Uzbekistan. If you look at that group, that is a group, I don't even see which group it is. Doesn't matter. We currently have Colombia at 6, of course, out of 2. Portugal at 4 out of 2. Congo and Uzbekistan are 1 and 0 points. Since it's Colombia versus Portugal, I basically think both teams are already through. So the results of that match doesn't really matter. I don't think either of the other teams. Congo could get 4 points, of course, and could be on the waiting list. But the Colombia versus Portugal could be a spectacular match. But I can see the same story happen as with Norway, where they will just play reserve squads. An interesting match is the last is Group J. We have Algeria versus Austria and Jordan versus Argentina. Of course, Argentina will not play their best squad. They are already 6 out of 2. But Austria and Argentina are equal. So, and since they play each other, that's one match that could make a massive difference. We saw Austria versus Argentina starting well, but in the end not performing. And I actually feel this Algeria team could go a little bit further. I think they could get the win versus Austria, and I think Austria versus Algeria might be the match to watch this night. Of course, tomorrow we'll be back, and and when we're back tomorrow, we will discuss the actual round of 32 coming up. We will highlight which we think we will go through. Any highlight matches on there as well. There's definitely one side of the bracket that has it a little bit more difficult. But hey, if you want to win the World Championship or World Cup, you have to beat everyone anyways. So you might as well do it in round 16. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the last stages of the group phases. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.